to our channel. Today we learn to craft a polite and concise mail to professor, which we did in the previous video. That was the part 1 and this is the part 2. Okay. In this we learn some of topic which we have not included in first video. They are: what are the do's and don'ts in the mail? What type of reply you may receive from professor? How to identify generic versus specific reply, and is it appropriate to email more than one professor from the same department? So let's get started. What are the do's and don'ts in the mail? As we went through the first video, we learned different section of the mail and what we can include, how we can include, what are the order we can write in, and also the appropriate arrangement of all the section of the mail. So let's start with do's. We already discussed what are the do's, but also let's see in brief. First thing you need to know clearly is research related to professor tool he used, so that you can focus on your expertise and professor research and combine that one and show in the mail. Write a short and concise mail so that professor will be interested to read. Even if, let's suppose, you got a mail which is lengthy, then you skip the things written in there. You just want to see the main point. Okay, done. Similar way, professor also might not interested in that one, so you need to make it short and concise. Okay. And state your purpose clearly. Why you are mailing? You are mailing for PhD, you are mailing for masters, so you need to specify your purpose very clearly. And attach your supporting document. Do not forget to attach your CV, at least CV, unless other documents are asked. Okay. And next is proofread carefully. It is very important because proofreading, I told you in the part 1 also, proofreading is important because after you proofread in clear and good grammar, no typos error, nothing, so that you will think you can write or you can do the paperwork you want you to do. In other thing we discussed in the previous video. Okay, let's discuss about what not to do. You should avoid a language which shows you are demanding, like I expect to join. You are not expecting, you are willing to join. So use the request word rather than the demanding word. Don't overshare your personal detail. That means no need to write other thing except your name and your study. Then next, don't forget to include your credentials. It is important, you will not forget, I know, but also it is the important thing. Whatever professor has did, like you have done computer science and 5 part you know very well, like you can do deep learning, you can do ANN. So if professor is doing deep learning, ANN and other things which are related to you, and you are also expertise in that one, and then you need to include that one. Never forget that one. But also you can include minor thing whatever you are doing or you did. Okay. And also do not forget to attach your CV and relevant document if asked. Okay, like transcript, cover letter, or sometime your writing sample. In my point of view, mentioning professor's previous research and showing your interest in that particular research might not be a good idea. Students sometimes do, and they have got assistantship. I'm not saying that it is not important, but not a good idea. It works sometime, but it doesn't work every time. We can understand this by an example. Let's see. Okay, let's take an example of tumor case, because I know mostly tumor, so I am talking about tumor because I am confident I can make you understand that one. Okay, so let's see if professor has worked already in feline. Feline means cat. Okay, and he worked in mast cell tumor. And seeing this, you wrote in such a way that you are interested in feline tumor, means you are interested in tumor related to cat, or you said you are interested in mast cell tumor. But professor has project in dogs osteosarcoma, means Now space is also different, means he did in cat, you are interested in cat, but he is doing in dog, so you will not require you. Another thing, if you mention mast cell tumor, then he might have research in osteosarcoma, means mast cell tumor is different type of tumor and osteosarcoma is different type of tumor, and he will say okay, he is not interested in osteosarcoma, someone else may be interested, so he will hire next, not you. So you need to think in all the way. Okay, you need to be specific sometime, but you need to be broad sometime. Don't go the previous research, I am interested in your previous this research and I want to join your lab for that research or in that related topic. No, don't include that way. You can include you are interested in tumor pathology, that's good. Okay, this is the one way you can teach the professor. Now, type of replies you might receive from professor. First thing you need to remember, you expect no reply from professor. After you send 50 mails, you might receive 2 to 3 auto reply and 1 to 2 reply that indicates professor has no funding. Unfortunately, I don't have funding. Best wishes for your search. That way he will reply. Let's see some of the example. Professor might reply in this way. See one. Hello Khan. And other thing, leave it as it is. You can see unfortunately here, right? This is the important thing. Unfortunately means he is saying I don't have or we are full with students in our lab. That way he will reply. So in this case also he says unfortunately I don't have open position for new students at this moment. Okay, or the near future means 1 to 2 years he might not take any students. This is one reply. Second reply, let's see. Dear Amrit, many thanks for your mail. This mail specifically sometimes comes when you mail seeing a post in LinkedIn, Facebook, or any social media. He said, we received more than 200 applicants and we'll review all the applicants soon. He got your mail or she got your mail, but they will get back only the shortlisted applicants. Means if you got reply, you are shortlisted, they will invite you for interview. If not, then you need to think you are not shortlisted. If this type of mail comes, no need to follow up. Next, hello Albert. This is also one reply. Okay, this is positive response from professor. You can see CV doesn't exactly match, right? My CV doesn't exactly match what they are doing their lab, but the technique you have learned could be useful. I told you, you need to mention more thing, main thing first. In the second or third line, you can mention that you have extra something than that professor, because that might be relevant to them in next project or next research. Okay, so he will like to call on Zoom, means he will have meeting with you. And let's see next one from professor. Would Wednesday 9 a.m. Central Standard Time works for you? That means that he said that are you ready for interview at this time, this date? Then if you say okay, then he will send you a link of meeting, then you will join the meeting. At this time also you need to be well prepared about your technique, your project, and you need to know all the things related to your paper. Now let's go. Next is how to identify generic versus specific mail. Okay, or specific reply from professor. Here are some examples. Okay, professor neither reject you nor accept you. He will send some generic mail and you need to identify it is generic or not. Okay, and also there may be some good idea about the department or recruitment. From the generic reply you can go and you can apply as well. Okay, let's see. In this mail professor mentioned that department rotational program. Okay, let's see here. I encourage you to apply for our rotational program. What is rotational program? We'll talk about it later. It's just you apply to the department and you do work in some lab, and after you'll choose the professor. That's all. We'll discuss more who provides the rotational program, what type of rotational program, and all that in next video or in upcoming videos. He encouraged me to apply their rotational program, first thing. Second, he said you can find details, and also he attached some links like admission procedure, frequently asked question, webinars, and international graduate students link. From this mail, the positive thing is that department has the rotational program and you can apply to the department for the rotational program. Let's see the next example. Okay, in this case, this I have taken from Facebook page. Okay, Facebook, someone has posted. So let's see. Professor is familiar with my university. Let's suppose my university, and I have good record as per him. Okay, he wrote all the things, but at last the important thing is current TOEFL speaking is 23 and IELTS is 7. Okay, and he said that we can apply for TA position because this is the eligibility of TA position. Eligibility of TA is little higher than the RA. I told you first video also, and I will talk about detail of IELTS and English proficiency test in upcoming videos. So he said you can apply for the TA position in the university. This is generic. Generally he said you have this, and you need to have these things, and you can apply to the department for teaching assistants. Let's see next. Is it appropriate to mail more than one professor from the same department? If you ask me, okay, can we mail more than one professor from the same department? My answer is always yes. But there might be some condition. Let's see. You can mail more than one professor in the same department. You need to remember that you need to approach professor with research interests that align with you. Do not mail all professor randomly. You can see in the figure that there is Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And if you see the faculty member like this way and search for different measures, like in department, there may be different professor who are working in one of the subject, like you can see this case environmental engineering means there are let's suppose 5 professor who is working in environmental engineering, 2 in structural engineering, and 6 in transportation engineering. That means you can mail 5 professor if you are interested in environmental engineering. Okay, so you need to select and then you need to mail. That way you can do, but you are mailing for transportation and environmental all 5 and structural all 2. That's not the good idea. To be specific with your research and professor's research. Similarly, if you mailed 5 professor and you got positive response from one professor, what are the positive response? I showed you before, right? So that's the positive response. If you get positive response from one of the professor, stop mailing other professor. Why? Let's understand from here. Okay, you mailed one professor, this is one professor, and he said okay, we can have meeting or we can have interview. Then stop mailing others, because this is also second professor, they both are working in same related major. Okay, in this case let's suppose cardiovascular disease, or let's suppose structural engineering, let's suppose cyber security. And these two professor might have good relation and good communication between them. They both want student, and they will discuss, sit sometime in the coffee or tea, and they discuss, I need a student, this student mailed me, and then another also say, hey, same, this student mailed me as well. And that time you may be one common, and if one said meeting before and another you mailed after that, then they will discuss and he will think that you are not stable. It's not always the case, but it might happen, so think it very well. Okay, if you like this video and found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe us, like, and hit the bell icon. Thank you everyone, see you again, bye bye.